Thank you much. A millionaire in court again today accused of murdering his wife. The retrial now for Bob Ward started yesterday with opening arguments. Prosecutors say that Ward shot his wife, Diane, during some kind of an altercation, an argument. The courtroom listened to the 911 calls that Ward made the night that his wife died. But Ward's lawyers say that Diane was actually the one who pulled the trigger and blamed investigators for swabbing both the gun and the trigger together.
They took a step that took away from the facts of this case to this jury to find out who pulled the trigger.
Okay, criminal defense attorney Whitney Boan joining us now to talk more about this. We'll try and break it down a little bit. Whitney, always good to see you.
Good to see you. Good morning.
So his lawyer to object to some certain evidence, the first time around. Will that evidence now be allowed back in, and is that possibly enough for maybe an acquittal?
The evidence that was allowed in before that was not objected to was evidence that was comments on Mr. Ward's right to remain silent. In other words, the prosecutors had argued he didn't explain why his wife died, basically. I mean, it was more nuanced than that, but in a nutshell, that was it. And so because his lawyers hadn't objected to that, it was reversed, and that's why he's back and he has a new trial. So I don't know that that's going to be the difference. Last time Mr. Ward did not testify in trial. I don't know whether or not he's going to testify this time or not, but it's the state's burden to prove the case, and so the issue here is whether or not the state has enough evidence to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that he murdered his wife and that this wasn't an accident or his wife committing suicide.
When you have a retrial, is it complete, just whitewash the whole thing and you start over, or is parts of what they did the last time going to play in, and that makes it more difficult, I guess, for the defense?
Well, it depends. I mean, certainly if Mr. Ward had testified before, his testimony in that trial could possibly be used as impeachment, or what that means is a way that the prosecutors could say you said something different than you said before, and that makes your honesty a question. But in terms of other witnesses that are the state's witnesses, or maybe even other defense witnesses, that could still be an issue there too, in terms of using their prior testimony to say, listen, you changed what you said. Other than that, it's kind of a clean slate, and they just start over.
I'm out of time, but if a guy gets on 911 and he says, I shot my wife, a good defense attorney, i.e. Whitney Boan, could you turn that around and say, no, it was an accidental shooting?
Of course, absolutely. Oh. This man said, I shot my wife. That doesn't mean that he meant to kill her. That meant that he shot his wife. And his lack of emotion is an issue the state's arguing. However, I'm not sure that's conclusive that he meant to kill his wife.
Okay. People want to get in touch with you, Whitney. How do they do it?
You can find me online at www.boanlaw.com, BOANLAW.com.
Very good, Whitney. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.